really excited to have our #1 chef instructor in Pensacola visiting tonight. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chef Andrew.
Why, thank you very much, Jackie. I hope all of you are excited. Are you? Yes. Tonight we have what it's all about. It's Mediterranean, but here's the trick. I want to take you on a trip. Now, everybody's got their passports, raise their hand. Because we're going on a trip to Destination Flavor. And I'm going to take you there with me. Is that all right? Do you have about 4 hours, or are we in big trouble? Okay. So we only need about 4 hours. But we have got a great roundup. But before we go into the menu, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Jackie's absolutely correct. 20 years of restaurant and food service business. Former instructor and graduate of the Culinary Institute of America, and proud, very proudly to announce I am a former presidential chef, as well as cooking for many dignitaries and celebrities across the United States, nationally and internationally. And this is absolutely huge. But what they've had, you're going to get tonight, and if that's all right, that's what we're going to do. I have a motto, and I have a saying, and it's actually the saying with my new release cookbook, Plank Cooking with Chef Sells. It's happiness is cooking with flavor. Do you agree with that? It's absolutely. Whatever the recipe, whether it's chicken soup or Chateaubriand, it doesn't matter. Or paella tonight. It's all about cooking and being happy and really coming out with a recipe where the flavors culminate, everything comes together, and you're so excited. So that's what I love as a chef. And there's nothing worse than challenging a recipe or trying to hide these little guys and they're climbing all over the plate and there's just too much on your plate and you can't get it done. Tonight we're going to get it done, and tonight we're going to have it fantastic. But the other thing we have an up-and-coming restaurant coming here, right here on the Gulf Coast in Pensacola, Florida. And this is a restaurant that's coming soon, but if someone said to me, Chef Andrew, what is exactly your favorite cuisine? What do you love to do? And how do you describe your cuisine? I would say 2 words, fusion and infusion. Fusion is actually the cooking technique, and infusion is actually how we put the flavor profiles together. And if you can just remember that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a great evening. So, here we go. Are we ready, ladies, for the lineup? Yeah? Yes. Okay. The lineup is Mediterranean salad with a very unique dressing, and that's a surprise. We're going to get there sooner or later. Okay. Traditional paella. We got chorizo sausage. We've got crayfish. And let me tell you about the crawfish, crayfish, however you say it. You know what? It's tough coming from New York to the Panhandle, but we're here now. Let me tell you, these guys are having a great time. We've got shrimp, we've got clams, we've got New Zealand mussels, we've got fresh squid, fresh scallops. Everything is going to happen here. But ladies, before we even get further, let me explain something. Once we cook, and this is about the passion and love for food, once we start cooking here, imagine the flavor from a scallop, a clam, a squid, a crawfish, a shrimp. When all those broths start to come together, we're going to have a fantastic dish at the end. And you know what's better yet? You all are really going to eat it. It's going to be a home run. And you know what? I must not forget our chicken thighs. And I must not forget telling you that another thing, this is a huge experience, and my term is home run. So are we okay with that? You'll send this home run home to your husbands. We're on our way. So let's get going. So here we go. Now, starting with the paella. Now, does everybody understand what paella is? Do you just know it, or you just ate it? Yeah? Have ate it. Does anybody know what cuisine it comes from? Oh, it's totally Spanish, totally Spanish. And actually, paella means from the pan. It totally means from the pan. Now, there are paella pans, but tonight I've got to cook for all of you. I've got 2 brand new Viking ovens, so this is going to be a home run. So we're doing it really in the pan, not the paella pan. Are we all right with that? Okay, but we're going to start off and we're going to sear many beautiful foods. We're going to culminate flavors, and we're going to really take you into the Mediterranean. And then while our paella is cooking, we're going to take you into the salad course, and then culminating and finishing with one of my specialties, cedar plank baked bananas. This is going to have a little rum, a little toasted almonds. This is going to be fantastic. And is there any special needs that I need to worry about before we get started? All right, we're on our way. So let's start with the paella. So first thing here, you want to have a very large pan. Now look, ladies, there is also a paella pan. And this really is a one-dish process. You can sear and take away, but the ultimate dish should end up in the same dish you started with. Meaning we don't cook things here and cook things here and then put them all away and then at the end put them in a big mixing bowl and toss them together. That's absolutely not the way this should be. And this is really a real original recipe. Now, are we okay with all the ingredients I described? Now, I know you ladies from the South, you really like these crawfish, right? And I understand if we were to have a crawfish boil, there's a real method of how we eat crawfish, right? All right. Well, you can enjoy that method once it's in your final dish. Would that be okay? All right, so here we go. So let's start it off with a little bit of oil. Now, you know, this is what I say, happiness is cooking with flavor. This makes total sense in what we're doing. We're always going to cook the biggest protein first. And I can't tell you how important that is. Now look at Sam. Sam's over there, and that's good. And Julie is over there too. Well, there's male and females in here. They just want to go, you know, they want to go to Destination Flavor too. I don't blame them. So what we want to do is heat the oil, but you always got to think when you're cooking a recipe. I don't care if it's chicken soup. I don't care if it's matzo ball soup, Chateaubriand, or Dover sole, whatever is in your palate. But the theory is the biggest protein first. So we're going to start with the chicken. So let's take the chicken thigh. Our oil's not hot enough. Now look, that was a great test. You see what I'm doing there? I am just touching the oil. Until I hear a sizzle, then I'll know. Now, we're not going to poach chicken. We're going to sear chicken. But you know what? Why I want to sear this chicken breast is for two reasons. I'm going to continue to use this same, and that's what paella is about. I'm going to continue to use the same oil all the way through the recipe process. So we seared the chicken, we remove the chicken. We sear the seafood, we remove the seafood. Think about the culmination of flavors, right? It's all about infusion. And when you can cook with infusion, you are on your way. Am I too complicated for you? No. Good. All right. Very well. So we're just working our way up here. We're going to be in great shape. It needs a little while. It's a very big pan. It's a brand new pan. It's a very big pan. Okay. It's a well-seasoned pan. That's right. But we got a little sparkle. All right. Now, on the salad, I am going to need one volunteer throughout the night. Is somebody going to be able, ma'am, excuse me, you walked in late. Would you be my volunteer? Yeah. Would you do that? Not now, but when the time comes. Are you physically fit? Do you feel pretty good?
Yes.
I love that about you, and you're going to be just what I need. Now, she is what I call infusion, not fusion, infusion. She's going to make it just perfect. Okay, so let's get this oil hot. I think we're almost there. Let's see. And you'll always know, ladies and gentlemen, you'll always know. Okay, do you hear it? If you don't hear a sizzle, and if you don't start to see the caramelization process happening. Now, it takes a while, okay? It takes a while to caramelize something like so. So here's a good rule of thumb. Normally, none of you at home would have a burner like so, yeah? So what we want to do is we actually want to take a burner like this, but just move the pan to where you're really trying to sear. So we move this big pan over because I need the heat to focus on this side of the pan, okay? All right, so we're going to let this sear. Now, while this is searing, let me talk to you for a minute about the squid. And I like to say calamari. That's the polite way. But ladies, we all know it's squid, okay? And you all know when you get black pasta in a restaurant, that black pasta is made from squid ink, right? You did or did not know? Well, it's really the truth, and it's really how it is. All right, so I've done a few things for you. Outside my friends that have joined me here, these special New Orleans crawfish, we've got a couple different types of squids. We've got the baby squid tube. Now look, this is nothing more than the tube. This is actually the rear part of the squid. Now, he's great. Look at that. He's super. Now, this is actually the tentacles, which we call the head, okay? And so if I put this together, I've actually got a squid. So better to understand this for you, I have for you a very whole squid. How do you like that? Yeah. Now, here's the thing. It's absolutely beautiful, and this is when you eat fried calamari, that what you're eating is only the tail, okay? Is only the body. But you know what? It's a whole lot easier, ladies, for you to go buy this and actually just buy the tails. But sometimes when you buy the tails, you're going to find when you pull out of the tails, you have a bit of cartilage. So what you want to do is you want to stick your finger into the tail. Say you went to the store, right, and you bought a dozen of these. And you want to feel, and you're going to see, and it's going to look, and you got to feel in there a little bit, it's going to feel just like a piece of plastic. Look at that. And that is actually the cartilage of the calamari. So that's an actual bone, as we would say it in our eyes. And now you are ready to actually go ahead and cut your rings. I love for Italian dishes to actually stuff this, skewer a toothpick through the end and braise it in a nice tomato sauce. Oh, what a home run. Now this is what you call Italian cuisine. But that's a true home run. Yes, ma'am. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I might take a little sausage, Italian sausage, a little, any kind of sausage, any kind of stuffing you want. You could take lobster stuffing, crab meat stuffing, put it, anything you want, but skewer it, and then you braise it in a nice broth for about 45, 50 minutes, and you've got a real delicacy. Now, I'm going to put Joey and Susan back in their pan there. They're doing just fine. Yep. I know you've been eyeballing them for me, and I very much appreciate that. Yeah. Now, look what we got here. You see the chicken thighs getting caramelization to it? It's not all about the color, ladies. Sure, the final dish. I always think when I'm creating a dish, whether it's food service, whether it's in your home, I always think of creating a dish that has color. But this is about flavor. Rendering that chicken fat and rendering that whole thigh is going to release juices into my pan. Well, I'm going to use that same fat to go ahead and saute my seafood and all of the rest of the components that make this infusion process. So it's a home run. Now look, I will tell you, if you're on a kind of a health kick and you're on a special diet, the South Beach, whatever it may be, and you want to actually not have fat, that's fine as well. So what you do is you're actually going to just remove the fat prior to cooking, but it's very, very important that you have that fat, to tell you the truth. That's what's going to give the love, that's what's going to give the flavor, that's what's going to culminate the whole dish together. All right, so look, we've seared the chicken. The chicken's looking good. We've got it on all ends. We've got nice color, but the rest of this is going to get finished in the rice. Okay, so let's put our chicken over here. Let's put our squid back where it belongs. Let's get Sammy back where he belongs. We're in good shape. These guys, you know, they've been paid big bucks to do this tonight. Yeah. Yeah, the budget of this show went to the crawfish. It's really a home run. But now let's actually start with the dish. Now, ladies, before I go any further, let's talk about how this all works. It's actually a 3-component dish. We saute the biggest protein. For you, you might want chicken breasts. For you, you might want chicken thighs. You might, whatever you want. I don't care. Maybe you want to put some beef in here. There's no rule of thumb to paella. It's all what you want. So we've got the chicken. Next, let's just go with a little bit of garlic. Are we okay with that? Yeah? Oh, Sammy, you know, Sammy is a male, I just want to tell you. Yeah, Sammy's a male, and, well, we've got 30 females out here. So what would you do if you were Sammy? Come on over here, pal. Me and Sammy, we're going to be together for a little bit. So let's start with the garlic. Now, we just want to sweat the garlic. We don't want the garlic to really caramelize too much. And then I want to do a little onions. Now, this is really fantastic. We are what we're calling a salsa-feed. We're really making things happen here. And now, when I start to see the garlic brown a little bit, we go with the seafood. Are we okay with shrimp? Oh, yeah. We're good with shrimp. How about scallops? Well, let's put the scallops in there, too. And what about calamari? I know I'm in the South. When the ladies say calamari, we're in good shape. So we'll put the calamari minus the demonstration piece, yeah? Okay, we'll take those away. I understand. And then all of our friends over here are just going to stay in their pot. Okay, so we've got the calamari, we've got the scallops. Now look, this is really important. this is actually going to be the next biggest protein. Would it be safe to say? Okay, but now I want to make this a one-piece dish for you. And so doing this as a one-piece dish, we absolutely want to remove this because we have to do the rice next. So what I want to do is take that chicken fat, and I want to take those flavors, and imagine the flavors of chicken, scallop, shrimp, all coming together. But once I saute these, then we're going to go ahead and remove these, and we're going to then start the rice process. But all of this goes back into one. You know potluck? You guys remember potluck? The churches, the things, and all the community activities you belong into? And probably we were all born on potluck dinners, right? Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to cook this off a little bit. But I'm not saying fully, ladies and gentlemen, because I'll tell you why. What we are going to do is we're actually going to finish the dish in the oven. But now here is fusion, is flavor, right? Excuse me. Infusion is the flavor. Fusion is the cooking technique. You know what we're going to do with Sammy and Rebecca? And you know Wally, he got really upset. They're really sad. You know, enough of the crayfish. What we're going to do with the crayfish is we're just going to give them a little time out. You ladies know how it is with the kids, right? Yeah. So we'll give them a little time out, and I'm sure they'll sleep nice that it's dark. But what we want to do here is finishing the fish. But when we culminate this into one flavor, you cannot imagine what's going to happen. So look, I've got this about medium rare, as we would say. Okay? Medium rare. Are you all right with that? Okay. So medium rare it goes, and we put all of this wonderful seafood into a bowl. Now, keeping the flavor, remember, infusion, okay? Fusion is the cooking technique. Fusion is culminating many different cooking techniques, many different nations' techniques into one dish. Maybe you grab something from Thailand and stir fry, and you grab a sauteed something from France, and you grab a braised thing from Austria, and you put it all together. That's fusion. But what we do with infusion is the culmination of flavors. And now we go. Are you with me on that? Oh, absolutely. You are not with me on that. Well, you're very good. That's great. So let's start with a little bit of oil, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of tomatoes, diced tomatoes. I like to use plum tomatoes. I like to use tomatoes that are a little bit firm. So we'll put the tomatoes in there, and then a little andouille sausage. It could be chorizo. It could be whatever you want. Oh, yeah, you like that, don't you? You like the andouille sausage. Well, I'll tell you what, that just fits kind of New Orleans panhandle, doesn't it? And that with the crawfish, we're going to be okay, aren't we? You bet. And how's the wine, everybody? Is it all right? Super. So we're going to put the andouille in there. Now, here is something nobody really would think about, but I've got a lot of powerful flavors in there. That andouille sausage is a little bit strong, a little bit biteful, a little spicy. But what about just putting a touch of honey? Because I want, as I say, and you would never think about it, we talked about the infusion process. Imagine, and you're going to get the imagine. When you're done, we're going to have a little bit of sweet and spicy. You're going to have the seafood. It's all going to come together. But look, you know what? This is all about you. You can do whatever you want. Maybe you want to take this paella to an Indian accent. Maybe you want to put some coconut milk in here. Whatever you want to do, it's all about happiness is cooking with flavor. Are you with me on that? Yes. Okay. So we've got all this happening here. Now the rice. Now the thing with the rice, ladies, is that really, truly paella is not cooked in the peel-off method. And this is the peel-off method. We're actually going to coat the rice with this fat. Forget the honey part. There's more fat in here from the chicken than from the seafood. But we want to coat the rice. And what we want to do here is just get it evenly coated and well ready for the stock. You see, when we coat the rice, we are actually exposing the husk and allowing the liquid to absorb. So let's coat the rice a little bit, okay? And I understand you can't lift Big Bertha, but I'm just trying to move things along here a little bit. And then we want to go with our stock. And I'll tell you what, unless it's sushi rice, unless it's a jasmine rice or something special. The rule of thumb, 1 part rice, 2 parts liquid. Are you okay with that? Yes. Make a note. How many of you have had overcooked rice? Yes, absolutely. Really, it's terrible, isn't it? How many of you had undercooked rice and, you know, Uncle Bob with the dentures has got to go home? I'm with you. Okay, so you like that one, don't you? Are you from Mobile?
No, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge. Well, at least we're halfway there, weren't we? All right. So, 1 part rice, 2 parts liquid. Now, you hear that? If you don't have that, you got a major problem. You got to have actually the liquid, you got to have the rice very, very hot. And the liquid needs to come right into the next heat segment. It can't be something lukewarm and you add it later on. Okay, so we're going to do this. And now, at this point, I want the rice to cook for about 15 or 20 minutes, okay? But what do you think I should do now? Really, I've got some decisions to make here. I've got some aromatics and parsley. I've got some fresh peas. I've got saffron. Now, saffron. Do you know that saffron is the most expensive herb in the world? Yes. Do you know it runs about $800 a pound? Do you also know it takes about 210 stigmas and 70,000 flowers to make a pound of saffron? So normally, ladies, when you go to the marketplace and you ask for saffron, they're going to have it behind the counter. And they're going to either sell it by the pinch, by the gram, whatever it may be, and understandably so. But here's what we're going to do. We've got great saffron. Now's the time. Again, remember about the infusion? Okay? So I'm infusing my rice water, my stock here. It's actually chicken stock. I'm infusing this with the saffron broth. And this is really going to showcase. Now, you see, what's going to happen from this dish is we're going to go from a white to a yellow. And that's all about the saffron. Now, you know, some chefs cheat, I have to admit, and they put in some turmeric in there. You know, turmeric is not really the way to go. Saffron, saffron. If you're going to do it right. I believe that. So we've got the saffron in there. Everything's doing fine. But now, think about what we have here. We've got shrimp and scallops, right? And we've got some crawfish and some clams and some calamari. But we've got a huge monster chicken thigh. So you know what? Now's the time, ladies. Let's put the chicken thigh in there and let it cook. And you know what else? What did I just do? I fortified and I'm infusion once again. I tell you, I'm what you call chef infusion. Because now I'm even going to give more chicken flavor to our paella. So let's put this in here. Let's put it in the oven. Let's cover it up. Well, first I want to bring this to a simmer. And once we bring this to a simmer, then we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to cover it nice about 350 and let it just kind of fully cook through until it's nice and fluffy. And if you don't want to put it in the oven, you absolutely can do it stovetop, but let's do it stovetop with covered and at a gentle heat. But what do we stir our rice with? When it's time to check it out, when you think it's almost ready, what do? Oh, I love you. Where are you from, ma'am?
New Orleans.
New Orleans again. New Orleans is over here. Minnesota's over there. This is great. Absolutely a fork, because think about it. If you were in the snow and you took a spoon out in your snow yard, you would clump the snow, right? But if you took a fork in your yard with the snow, you would be fluffing the snow, right? So always when working with pasta and working with rice, we use a fork. Couscous, the same thing, another great Mediterranean dish. So what we want to do now is just get this cooked. So we're going to put a little foil over this. We're going to put this in the oven. And then when it's about, you know, maybe say 80% of the way through, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our seafood. We're going to add the rest of our aromatics. We're going to add our parsley, Italian parsley. And Italian parsley, leaf parsley, is different than curly parsley. And we're going to add our peas, and it's all going to be together. We'll be right back after this break, and we're going to open up with our salad. Yeah.
A couple things that I'd like to point out to you tonight. First of all,
food that you have in the house and practice on it to get those fine lines and look at your picture.
Okay, so ladies, here we go. We're back. We're back, and while your paella rice only, not the whole component, is doing its thing, we're going to get ready with the salad. Now, remember I told you there was a surprise about the Mediterranean salad? How many, dressing, excuse me? Yes. How many of you are aware of, the dressing is a big surprise, but actually I'm making you a composed salad, and this is really fantastic. How many of you are familiar with olive tapenade? Oh my God. And is that Mediterranean or not? Yeah. Well, Chef Andrew's going to bring one on to you that you're never going to forget. I can promise you that. But let's just talk about the components here. We're going to have pine nuts, olive tapenade, basil oil. And hey, look, if you can't find basil oil on your own, most grocery stores will have a dipping oil that you use for bread. You'll find basil there. Chef Andrew brings you from the UK the real McCoy, so this is going to be fantastic. Yeah. And then we have garlic, and then we have a little rice wine vinegar, and we have olive oil. Now, my friend, what is your name? Lisa, could you come around here for a minute because I really need you. Everybody give Lisa a big hand. Okay, now, Lisa, it's very nice to have you up here on my show. This is going to be fantastic. You know, Lisa, let me see your hands. You know, Lisa's got beautiful hands, ladies. She's got beautiful nails. She's really fantastic. And you know what? She probably is one of those ladies that, you know, has been working for 3 or 4 days preparing a party. And then right before the guests arrive, her husband says, honey, what about some roasted garlic? And she says, oh, Jesus, you know, I'm trying to get dressed. So are you ready to peel some garlic? Thanks for picking up, Sammy. Yeah. Poor.
I'm actually pulling shrubs today, but that's okay.
I know, but that's all right. You know, poor Sammy, they really are cute guys, you know. They love you so much, and they really don't hurt. They're not like lobsters. Of course, they're actually exact replica of a lobster. But let's talk about garlic, you know. How many of you have those garlic peelers from Bed Bath & Beyond or all these outlets that you use and you've paid about $7.99 for? Nobody? We're definitely in the South. This is a home run. We're in deep trouble. Okay, well, how many of you have to actually use your hands to peel garlic? And how many of you use a paring knife to peel your garlic? Okay, well, then how do you peel your garlic? Well, how do you get the skin off it? Yeah, and then what? You got to take the skin off, right? Are we going to show them? Are we going to show them? Let's give a hand for our #1 guest because she's going to show you how. Now, come on over here. Now, you just take this, and I want to show you how easy this is. She's going to take what we call a bulb of garlic. Is that correct? And she's going to put it in there, and you give it a good smash because I know you're physically fit. You're looking great. Go ahead. No, well, I mean, you need to kind of just tap it. You really don't need to kill my whole kitchen and not do. Yeah. I mean, a little better. He's not home from golf yet. Oh, he's home. He's on his way. He just called. He's definitely home from golf. Okay, she's done a fantastic job. Now, wait a minute. She's not done yet. She's only taken the bulb to cloves. Now, she wants to take the cloves to naked peeled. Is that all right?
Yes, absolutely.
I threw the naked in there because this is the ladies did. All right. So we're going to actually put that there. And what she's going to do is she's going to take one bowl, and she's going to take another bowl and put that over top. You let it rip, my friend.
What am I going to do?
You just give it all you got, but keep it tight. He's an hour late. He's an hour and a half late. He's home. He's in the garage. He's already like ironing her clothes. Look what she's done. She's peeled the garlic, ladies. Look. She peeled it. Is that a home run? Now that's what I call a home run. And that's a huge step in making preparation. Thank you so much. And I'm going to give you a cookbook on your way out.
Great.
All right. You bet. All right, so there we have it. She's peeled the garlic. Thank you. That's great. But now, wonderfully, we have the garlic already minced. How's that sound? Okay, so let's start with the dressing a little bit. We're going to take a little bit of sour cream. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
A little sour cream. And not only can you use sour cream, you could use a little bit of creme fraiche. You could use mayonnaise if you want to get a little bit more into the fat content. I would prefer you use sour cream. Okay, so a little sour cream. And then we're going to take a little bit of rice wine vinegar. Okay? And the reason I like to use the rice wine vinegar is because it's sweet. And it suffices as the wine component. It's sweet, and I don't have to add sugar. So a little rice wine vinegar. And we're just going to emulsify this all together a little bit. And then a little bit of garlic. And I'm sorry I couldn't chop my friend's garlic, but we got to get on with the show here. So we're going to put a little garlic in there. And then, wonderfully, a little bit of basil oil. Okay. And what should be next, do you think? I better check for something. What do you think we ought to check on? Somebody give me help here, will you? We got to check on a little bit of salt and pepper situation. And I know right now we need salt. So using our wonderful little accessory here, I have the 1 pepper mill and salt mill, and we're just going to let it rip. How do you like that? Shooting from the hip. Yeah, because normally we shoot from the hip in the kitchen anyhow, don't we? Okay, so we got a little shooting from the hip there. It's all coming along well. But now, you know, I have the basil oil, ladies, and this is one thing. I know I need a little more oil, but why not just put a little regular olive oil as well? Because too much basil, I'm going to miss out on the rice wine vinegar, I'm going to miss out on the salt, pepper, and everything else that happened. So here we go, a little more of this, and I'll tell you what, when we come back, we're going to put this salad together with, let's put the capers in now, all right? Let's put the capers in now. Let's give them their moment of fame, will you? Because it's all Mediterranean. When we come back, we're going to put this salad together, and we're going to take care of your paella, finish it off. It's going to be a home run. We'll see you right after the break. Okay. Are they ready? Okay.
Now again, remember, all these designs are very easy.
Is that what you just made? Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Looks like they have their covered. Let me get this stuff out of your way.
Now, ladies, did you buy your own wine over here?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and you picked up a nice one. That's great. But what I really want to know is what y'all think of the salad, okay? Because you're really deep in the heart of the Mediterranean culture right now. Yeah, we're in good shape? Do I have to sell cars or can I stay as being a chef?
Home run.
Yeah, a home run. You have to say that again for Mr. Dave here. Say it's a home run.
Home run.
I need 2 towels so I can grab this with balance when I get it out. Okay, so here we go. Now, while you enjoy your little salad there, is everything okay? We're in good shape? Do we need to bring in some sushi or something, or we're all right? Okay, now we go with the rest of the paella. Now, are you with me on what we've done here? Okay, because it's not a real complicated process. I'm just serving you a 3-course meal. But wait till we get to the cedar plank bananas, a specialty from my cookbook, Plank Cooking with Chef Sells. This is a home run. By the way, the book is here at Distinctive Kitchens, just to let you know. But we'll talk about all of that later. That's not a part of the issue here. So let's go with the paella. What I want to do with the paella is, remember I told you we put it in the oven, right? We're letting the rice do its thing. We let the chicken cook in there. Okay, it's about 80% there. Mentally, I know you could set a timer, however you want to do it. A twig, the children come in, I don't care. Soccer mom, it's time to go to soccer practice. Whatever you want, my mental thermometer tells me it's ready. So let's go ahead and let's take out the polenta. Excuse me, the paella, I'm sorry. The paella. Okay, so here we are. Look, ladies, it's looking beautiful, right? The rice is 90% there, and that's where you want it. Now, you remember that seafood that we cooked medium rare? Yeah, now's the time, ladies. Now's the time. Let's go ahead and put that seafood in there. And let's just, and wait, I just want to show you. Here's infusion. You see the juices? There's like 7 different relatives sharing their juice right here. This is good. This is what it's all about. So we've got the shrimp, we've got the calamari, we've got the chicken, we've got the rice, we've got all the things. But last but not least, it's time to say goodbye to our co-host of the show. And they've been fantastic. Now normally, no, it's all right. You don't have to watch. They love it because they're warm-blooded. They love it. You know, matter of fact, they will fix the oven over there. They're going to make sure the light stays on. They're in good shape, I tell you. But now, I would only do this because I'm in the coastal panhandle. I'm eating a million crawfish. Oh, this is beautiful. And then what about a little bit of New Zealand mussels? Can we put some of that in there? Oh, some New Zealand cultivated mussels. Hey, you could do black mussels too, but you know what? The fact that I knew the ladies were coming tonight, I wanted this to be easy for you. Okay, and what about clams? Oh, you bet. Cherry neck clams. Now, listen, if I had put the cherry neck clams in way in the beginning, they would have opened up in the heat, been hard as a rock. Maybe you break your gums. It's no good. So what you want to do there, and we've got some remaining little calamari and shrimp here. You know what? It's so hot, they're going to be fantastic. The only thing I'm not going to put in there is my demonstration processes. So here you are. You mix it all in, and now you're in the oven for about another 10 minutes, and this is going to be paella. I swear to you, the paella you never had before. And this is how it works. But you know what? It's all about happiness is cooking with flavor. It's all about infusion and fusion, and it's about giving your love and heart to a dish, and that's what it's all about. You really have to say, if I add this, this, and this, is this all going to be the perfect thing? And that's what it's all about. So here we go. We're going to put it all together. Now, I don't have a lid for this big guy, so I'll just pull out my little foil here. But he's going to go back in for another maybe, as I said, maybe 10 minutes. We just want to see those clams open, because by the time those clams open, those crawfish will be cooked. Right, ladies? I know you New Orleans ladies know what I'm talking about, so here we go. Okay, so here we go, right in there. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay. So, all right, fantastic. Okay. Now, how's the salad? Are we all right? Can we go on with the dessert? Because your paella is coming next. Now, let me tell you, there's one thing I forgot to tell you about the paella. We've got a little bit of what they call a lemon aioli. How many of you really know what an aioli is? Or have you ever heard of an aioli? Yes. Yeah. An aioli is actually, well, you know what? The modern chef takes mayonnaise and puts things with it. Yeah, that's not aioli. Aioli is when you actually make a mayonnaise. And we take an acid, such as a lemon, and we mix it with egg yolks, and we emulsify it, and we create a base. And from that point on, we add the seasonings and the flavorings, and we slowly add the oil, and we actually make a mayonnaise. That's what you're doing with an aioli. Well, traditional paella, if we all get on a plane, which we are, because you've got your passports, we've been approved through customs, we're on our way to the Food Network, stop in for a glass of wine, and then we're going to the Mediterranean. We're all in the perfect sense that this is going to go right over the top of your paella. This is going to make it. This is like the foie gras on top of a steak. Do you follow me? This is a home run. So here you go. We're going to do that when it comes out. Let's get going with your dessert. I tell you what, why don't you enjoy your salad? We'll be right back after this break. Okay.
You still have a lovely looking countertop ready to go.
It still will have a lovely looking countertop.
Bingo. Got it.
Just with this design, make sure you break the lines and go long, straight streaks. Sometimes you can have it a little thicker, a little thinner. That's what makes the design. I think
That's fine. We cut
I
from
think
there.
that away.
And go.
And remember, sometimes you have to use a little wrist action and just turn your feather around. Just see how it's comfortable to get a straight line or a few lines in there. So with this design, make sure you do your straight lines. And you're done. And compare it to the...
Okay, so we'll get it close. Ready? And action.
And you finished that easy. It didn't take no 5 minutes for this little piece of countertop. And compare it. It's just different colors. And it's a little different, but it's the what do you call that?
Okay, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So start by again saying, here you have the final look. Ready? Go.
Here you have the final look. It looks a little bit different than this one. Each one will be unique and individual. So don't worry about it. If you have a little too much or the lines are not exactly like it is, but remember, you have a concept, you have a guidance, and that will be your picture and your design that you chose, and you have that there, and you look at it and you try to copy it. And it's very, very simple, as you saw how simple this is. Just make straight lines with a feather and you're done. Here you are. It's just about having fun.
Okay.
How was
Another technique with feathering. Ready? Action.
another technique with the feather tool?
Smooth it out one more time. And action.
Another technique with the feather tool.
Slow. Smooth. Another technique with the feather tool. Ready? And go.
Another technique with the feather tool would be the design love. It's not much different than what I showed you. It has those straight lines, a little wavy. It has just a little thicker on the lines, as you see. You just put a little bit more on the feather and push it a little more, and go make your long lines. Wave it or straight. And like I said, so it's just your own design. As you play with it, what you come up with. If you want it a little thicker, you make that. If you want to make it very fine, like the marble look, you do it like I showed you the first with the black marble. So those are your designs with the feather.
Again, stop right there and say, again, it's all about having a good time and just enjoying what you're doing. Ready? And go.
Again, it's all about just having a good time, enjoying what you're doing, and be happy with the finished product.
Okay. And action.
And here's the finished look of Ocean Breeze. That's the name of the design. And it is the rag sponging that we used. And this is the design you get out of it with any color that you want. You can choose your own color. You can say you want the white and the gray, you want the blue and the gray, you want the green and the light green or whatever. Or the dark green and almond. Any color you want, you can do this design with the tool. So the rag tool will give you this finished look. It's very easy. Like we showed, you crumble it up, you have your design, and you just dip it in your place and go over it like this. Just one time, very lightly. If you want it stronger, go a little bit more. And you're done with it. That easy.
Now let's take a look at the feather technique. Stand right there. And do that line. Now let's take a look at the feather technique. Ready?
No, this is a rag technique.
No, but you're going to the feather. That's the next one that you have to.